Hello everyone and welcome to the last week before the playoffs of the Overwatch Community Cup Stage 1. We're going to get an exciting match between the Dallas Fools and the LA Mortals. We're going to be starting that off fairly soon. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and look at how they're getting ready. We've got all the Dallas Fools icons on the left. So let's go ahead and switch that up. Fancy Raptor, Wolf Daddy, Choo Choo, Who, Box, Ragnaraki, and Billy are already on this starting lineup. And on the LA Mortals, we've got Joshi, Paint on Table, Asmul, Latin Guy with the wrong icon, Presler, and Stefan. We've got a handful of subs, including DPS Spanky, very clever, and Wolf Daddy as the coach. This is looking to be an exciting game. I cannot wait for this. I think it's going to be very close. Perhaps more closer than the games we've seen as of yet. We've seen a lot of 4-0s and 3-1s, but I think if there's a game that's going to go to Game 5, it's going to be this one. Unfortunately, I thought the same of the last series, but it did end up being canceled. But this one is ready to go. Everyone is in the lobby. It is 4:07, and we are going to be playing shortly. This game will be going on soon, and it looks like we're going to be starting on Numbani as our hybrid map. I'm sure we're going to see some Ana gameplay with Soldier on defense, unless a team opts for an entirely dive defense, or maybe just a stalwart kind of a Risa Hug Junkrat as an anti-dive defense. That is also one of the very popular defensive choices. On the attacking side, I think we'll see Dallas Fools start with dive with a Pharah Mercy. That is the most popular choice on Numbani. Also full dive, or they could try and go for some kind of death ball to just try and draw the enemies onto the point, so that they would have to stop from being capped in the first place. There's so many options, and what's fun about these lower ranked matches is that we're not going to see cookie cutter comps as often. They might be the most optimal choices, but here in these lower ranks, we're actually going to see a lot more variable characters. We're going to see different kinds of play with characters we won't see as often in higher tiers. Perhaps that is going to be a bane more so than a boon, but it always makes these games very exciting to watch. It will be getting underway shortly, and I will come see you when it's happening. You heard that theatrical done, and you know we're off. Despite being the away team, we are going to start with Dallas Fools on the defense. Saw a little bit of troll picks. We're still seeing them come in here and there. As much as I would love to see a Symmetra in these games, it's unlikely it will ever happen. But a caster can dream. Here's what they'll be fighting over. Whatever on earth is in this after the Doomfist Gauntlet. Probably one of Eefi's designs. We know there's a supercharger in the museum now. Maybe this is Mark II. Maybe it's an upcoming Orisa buff. Imagine a supercharger that does even more damage. And we are going to reset the game.
Traveling to Mumbai.
Not entirely sure why, but we are going to jump back into this and pretend I said everything I did last time. But again, I flew through here. We talked about the supercharger and compositions, yada yada yada. In any case, there she is. Eefy. Looks like we're going to get a very aggressive dive coming out from the LA Mortals. They're looking to have a full dive without a Zenyatta. I've said it before, I will say it again. Zenyatta is pretty crucial for a dive comp, as that direct healing and Discord is oh so important. But they're going to be running the Mercy Pharah instead. They're going to opt for the Lucio to try and get a speed boost. And then Stefan is going to be the Pharah for the Mercy. It'll be interesting to see how they attack this. Pharah Mercies can go around the left, or they can opt for this main entrance and try and get damage onto here where soldiers and Anas like to sit. But we are going to see a very cookie-cutter defensive dive. Choo-Choo, who is on the Mercy, and Fancy Raptor's on the Zenyatta, which I think is the optimal composition. That or Lucio instead of Mercy. But honestly, in the Overwatch League, we've been seeing a lot of dive with Mercy, to the point where I think it is just as powerful as it is with a Lucio, especially on defense. I think that res can be so powerful on defense. And we'll see how it works out, how Choo-Choo survives in this Dallas skin as the offense rolls out from the LA Mortals. We've got Latin Guy on the Genji, already trying to find a way around this enemy team. Looks like he's going to go main. Doesn't know that there's a Winston, but he jumped in. Now there's a Mercy in his sights. He spotted Zenyatta as well, and here comes the dive. He's got Fancy Raptor in his sight. There's no peel, but Nikarasu actually comes in at the last second. What a clutch peel. And now this is going to be a Dallas Fools defense. Asmil does get rezzed, but so many picks on the side of the Fools that they are going to push LA Mortals back into spawn, Latin Guy included. Hello, box. The dive is going to reset. A lot of defensive dive is powerful because you can hide up here on this high ground, and the offense won't know where you're going to be jumping from. The offense is set back up. They are at all full health, but they are lacking in ultimates compared to their defensive counterparts. Already both DPS ults on lock. But here comes a kind of pincer attack. There's a Pharah in the back. But here comes a Blade. Is this going to cut down the offense? It will. It gets one. He misses the second, but he gets it in the end. There's a Mercy in his sight, but she gets away, only to fall into Nikarasu's grasp. Asmil goes down as well. Nikarasu helping out Billy get these final blows, and that's going to be as clean as can be. Billy, missing about 10 health, needs healing, which is a very Genji thing to say. LA Mortals grouping up again. They're starting to get their ults finally. They have their barriers, but they're going to need to get a few more before they can start committing anything. Pain on Table is getting closer to his as well. Asma will. A lot of sustain ultimates if they want to take this next fight once they get the rest of the ultimates on lock. And here comes the dive. Fancy Raptor goes down. Billy next. Diva Bomb comes out. It's going to push him away. And it actually gets Pain on Table, who was Valkyrying. Choo-Choo who Valks as well, but then Fancy Raptor uses his trance. That's both support ults at the same time. Not advisable, as it's going to make the next push from the LA Mortals fairly easy. Stefan does get eliminated by a Mercy with a gun. Dallas Fools is going to clean up this point. But again, they are out of ultimates completely. Both support ultimates is the big thing to take away from this. Joshi still has barriers. Presler has Diva Bomb. They can now outlast in this fight. Pan Table has moved onto the Moira as they're switching off of the Far Mercy. This is less dive and more of a lots of healing, lots of damage comp with dive on the side. And here they are. They hear the Winston, and there's the pincer attack again. Asmol comes from the other side, trying to throw Dallas Fools for a loop. Someone's in the trap, but Billy does go down in the end. If they can stop that resurrect, they can continue this 6v5. 2 more go down. Fancy Raptor does get brought back up, but there's no Transcendence. Chuchuhu goes down, and this is finally going to be a fight for the LA Mortals. Just some pickup here and there. Asmol does go down, but there's so much going in favor of Pain on Table, including this Diva Bomb that's going to get Ragnaraki. Pain on Table is going to keep everyone healed up, and now it's just a couple stalling from the Dallas Fools. Stefan does go down to Box, but Box is out of mech, and here's a blade to finish everything off. Box included a dash, dash, dash. One of the flashiest ways to finish off this point. Chuchuhu's going to stall for just a little bit. Gonna try and make some time for the rest of her team to get onto the point. Nikarasu is stalling now, but goes down as well. And possibly a miscommunication, as Nikarasu went onto the point, but Ragnaraki decided not to. That may have cost them that point, although it was probably a smart idea to go ahead and back out anyway. Nikarasu may have gone in to stall, to go in for the switch, as now she is on the Pharah. She will be getting to the point, but now the ultimate economy is in Prisler's court. Prisler is going to be getting mech soon, and here's a blade immediately taken down by a Bunny Blaster. Barriers come out just in case, and the LA Mortals are just looking so solid right now. Box is out of mech. They need to finish off these kills, and they will start pushing this payload. Ragnaraki ended up using Primal Rage. Looks like they're going to use any ultimates they can to try and just stall out this fight, but that means there's ultimates they're not going to have in the next team fight. Box, though, is getting close to his ultimate. It could be a very good option to clear off this payload, but the rest of his team needs to get here. The Dallas Fools need to recollect themselves before they start fighting on the payload. They're slowly but surely regrouping. But Presler and Asmol are up on this high ground. They've swatted the Pharah and the Mercy, and this could be just a quick takedown. Nikarasu gets exploded by Presler. Apparently Presler didn't get the memo that the micro missiles were nerfed as far as damage, because that damage was looking pretty strong regardless. They're going to let Box live just a little bit, but bloodthirsty Presler is going to get this final blow. Now without a tank, the Dallas Fools are going to need to back up a little bit. They do have Ragnaraki switching on to the Orisa. Trance is out. And now this could be a very good time for Nikarasu to ult. Billy got 2. This is going to be a prime barrage. It's only going to get 1, but it's going to spread out the rest of the mortals. Billy, though, the unsung hero of that fight, got so many picks. And finally, they've got some footing. Only 2 minutes. Not actually a lot of time for this last phase. Nigarasu's spamming some damage in. Stefani's just spamming back. He's got 5% away from ultimate, and this could be such a game changer. Can't reflect a trap. That was such a good option instead of throwing out a mine. And here comes the tire. Oh, but it gets dashed away by Billy. What a good move. Ends up comboing it for its entire health. And now this is just a mayhem of a fight. Ragnarok is getting pushed back, but he's got Supercharger if he wants to commit. Box has Diva Bomb. And Nikarasu just used Barrage, got 1, but ended up being taken down. Stefan gets Billy and Box with Diva Ultimate. And this is going to be some LA picks coming in. Presler gets his Diva counterpart again. Chuchuhu goes down. And while Presler is out of mech, they made so much space that they might be able to close this out before overtime starts, but the stall is starting to come in. Fancy Raptor has been on this payload for so long, they have not been able to kill him. He does get off the payload, though. He's not contesting anymore. But now he's back. Box got 2 picks, and Ragnaroki's Supercharger is out. It looks like this is going to be a very clutch hold from the Dallas Fools, as there's only 20 seconds left on the attack. They're going to hold up at this choke point, going to try and stop this fight before it happens on the point. But here comes another tire. This could be the decider of how this last fight goes. With only 5 seconds left, it's going to go on the low ground. Barriers coming out. And it doesn't. It does find Ragnaraki. Took a little bit of time. And somehow, Dallas Fools are so spread out after that tire that they let it get capped. Sometimes the threat of a tire is even better than the tire itself, as just the threat of being exploded ended up giving Dallas the space, or giving Mortals the space to cap this on the third point. So many of Dallas Fools were alive, but they were so scattered they couldn't contest. That's some big brain Junkrat plays coming out from Stefan, and now it's going to be their turn to defend. They're going to opt for the Zen Mercy again. On the defense, they had Lucio before, now they're going to have Transcendence instead of Barriers. And it looks like they're going to have Latin Guy be the soldier on this high ground, which is oh so useful as his sightlines cover basically everything. Unfortunately, it look like we have a DC from the Dallas Fools. Hopefully that gets rectified soon. They're missing their second tank, which is very unfortunate, but until then, they are running a dive with a Widow. We are going to pause the game as we find out what to do about this. So, we are going to get someone restarting their computer. As I look in the chat, it's pause, 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 pause. But it seems like it will be rectified soon. And looking back onto that last offense, really, it's just not enough can be said about that tire. It made so much space with really only getting one pick. The fact that it rolled around the payload so much made it so as if the payload was the bomb. You don't want to be near it or else you might die. And Dallas Fools was not able to recollect themselves. I'm not sure if they lost their player during that, if maybe their sixth player was AFK during that last fight, although I do believe it was Ragnaraki who was the one who died to the tire. So I don't think that was as much of an issue as it could have been. I think she was playing and then ended up having to DC between the rounds. So luckily, there was no forced 6v5 situation due to a disconnect. Now that being said, it'll be up to the Dallas Fools to try and take this just hopefully with over a minute compared to the LA Mortals. If they can get the rest of Numbani in over a minute, they will be able to take this to a situation where the worst they can do is tie the game, which is always the best situation. An unlosable situation is pretty good. But if they get it under a minute, that's going to give LA Mortals a chance to win as well. It'll come down to how fast the Dallas Fools can cap the third point if they can get there. Now, this has already been a very close match already, so I'm excited to see how it goes. We've got our sixth player back in, and we will be starting shortly. Ragnaraki has reconnected, and I imagine Ragnaraki will be on the Winston, as Box is on the D.Va. We see a lot of flexibility from Ragnaraki, which is highly appreciated. That Orisa was a pretty good choice on the last fight, as anti-dive is pretty strong in choke points, especially against a team that is running full dive, featuring a Junkrat. In any case, Nikarasu is going to be on the Sombra, it seems, unless will be a swap. But I definitely like that option, as there is not only one big health pack, but actually two. A lot of options for her to return to. There's a health pack in this room as well. But it'll be up to the LA Mortals to deny that from happening. Stefan is already going to be zoning out some damage, and guess Nikarasu! A trap ended up getting her, and it got Billy as well. Reflect went up too early so that he could not stop the mine. Stefan already taking up both DPS. Highest value Junkrat possible at the moment. Now here's Nikarasu with that golden gun. Is going to try and find a way around this Junkrat. And it looks like she's going to opt to go just right under him. Health pack is here. He's going to wait for the rest of his team. Billy takes Stefan down with a reflected mine off screen. But unfortunately, gets res back up for the Dallas Fools. And here's the tire. It gets dashed again. Billy has been so good at denying those tires. And this is looking to be a very quick cap, unlike what we saw from the LA Mortals. The LA Mortals had to do a lot of economy pushes to get their ults up to a winnable situation. But here they are. They ended up taking this very quickly in just one fight. Billy has ultimate, and that's the only one, as we see a lot of character switches on the side of the Mortals. Jachi is now on the Lucio. Transcendence, Discord, Harmony will no longer be an option. Paint on table now on the Moira instead of the Mercy. I think these are their comfort picks. It definitely allows for a lot of survivability, but you don't have the value that Mercy and Zenyatta bring. Now it looks like this fight is going to happen above this bus. Right around this corner is where it's going to pop off, but we already have a 1v1, and Billy spotted, paint on table. A blade comes out, doesn't get anything yet, but he's still looking. He's getting healed up by the by the Harmony. Doesn't get anything, but Nikarasu in the back gets paint on table. Fancy Raptor gets Asmuel, and he does get a lot of value nonetheless. Presler, though, did get 2 in the back, but it's not going to be enough to stop this push. With a hacked Presler, there's not a lot a Diva can do. She's going to try and contest a payload so that she is forced to be taken out. And shout out to Fancy Raptor as the Boston Lucio. Not quite the correct skin for this comp, but I'll take it. Now we've got a late stall coming in from LA Mortals, but EMP comes out, it's huge, and here's a Diva Bomb. It's gonna get Stefan. With no movement abilities available, that's such a good combination, EMP to Diva Bomb. Fancy Raptor finishes off Asmuel, and LA Mortals have to back out. Nikarasu is gonna start getting extra positioning. He's already hacked his health back. He's been spotted by Latin Guy, but with a nice cheeky wave, he gets out to safety. Dallas Fools are pushing this around the corner. They have 5 minutes left. If they continue playing the way they've been against the Mortals, they will be able to push this with a minute left. Ultimate Palooza. Stefan gets Billy, who was ulting. Pano Table's going to try and keep everyone healed up. But Jachi goes down, Asmuel goes down, Dallas Fools is looking to finish this here and now. Paint on table after Fade does go down as well. Presler out of mech, no ult. It's going to come down to how much they can stall out now. Latin Guy goes down though, and Boggs is just going to have a little delivery here. Paint on table's having trouble getting out, and there it is. There's a present for LA Mortals. Alright, it is going to be down to the Dallas Fools to take a third of point A in 4 minutes 24 seconds. That is more time than you start with to take all of point A. So this is absolutely doable given how quickly they took it on their first attack. It looks like we're going to see some composition changes from the LA Mortals. They're going to be running more of a Deathball comp. One of the safest comps in my opinion. As it's not particularly very good at anything in particular like dive or triple tank, but it doesn't get countered as much as either of those comps. Oh, but here we are. We have a Torb and a Sim. And given how far they've gotten outside of spawn, it looks like they're going to be sticking to it. Looks like Joshi is going to be putting up a turret to protect and peel for him. And honestly, this might actually work against a dive comp. Turrets from both Torbjorn and Symmetric can cause a lot of problem, and if you can get armor and a shield generator, that's an extra 150 health that dive has to deal with. Here comes the rollout from Dallas Fools. Questionable translocator, but Asmol goes down already! That can't happen at all. Nikarasu spotted the turret, but he is taking the point. Pain on table in a very bad position. Does get a res onto Jachi, but so many picks have been acquired for Dallas Fools. It does not look like this comp worked out at all, as that was the quickest take of point A I have ever seen. Play of the game is going to go to Billy. We saw so many high-value ults, and honestly, even better, taking out tires. But here is going to be a very valuable blade, coming out with the help of Transcendence and Ikarasu's Barrage for cover. But honestly, that was a very close game. Now, time-wise, it was not balanced. The Dallas Fools had just so much time. They had over 4 minutes to take 1/3, and they ended up doing it in about, what, less than a minute. That part didn't seem quite balanced, but so team-wise, it was very favored for the Dallas Fools, but individual play, I think we saw a lot of good play from both teams. I really want to shout out to Stefan and his Junkrat as it got a lot done. Paint on table did a lot of healing, but on the other side, Billy did a really good job with damage. Nikarasu as well as the Tracer and the Sombra. So many good flanks, and really good peel, which isn't something we see from Tracers a lot, as Tracers typically like to flank more often than not. But the fact that Nikarasu was able to save her Zenyatta before he got killed, like in the first fight, I think that was huge, and it really speaks to the communication and high-level play that we're seeing from the Dallas Fools. I think, though, that this is still anyone's game. I think if LA Immortals readjusts to the aggression and the communication of the Dallas Fools, they will be able to get some games of their own and hopefully bring this to a Game 5. I think that is a very distinct possibility, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this goes. We are dealing with some lobby shenanigans now, but we will start getting into the second map soon enough. I believe it's going to be a King of the Hill map, but I'm not entirely sure. But until then, we are going to go to a short break while the lobby gets set up for Game 2.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Well, we were about to start. In any case, we are going to go to Hanamura. And here you can already see the switches coming in on both sides. Kiwi is in for Ragnaraki, Dragonplays is in as well, and on the LA Mortals we've got Ace Fire, Odaving, and Quab. Looks like LA Mortals is going to be making this a much more competitive game as we go into Game 2.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Starting off in the arcade as usual. And Choo Choo Hoo on the very interesting Doomfist pick in this pre-game skirmish. Seeing an area that we don't typically see, and Ace Fire has DC'd again. So we will see what has happened 2 times in a row.
Traveling to Hanamura. Traveling to Hanamura.
Alright, and for real this time, we are now on Hanamura. Ace Fire's back in the game, and we're ready to go in. Named for its beautiful cherry blossoms, Hanamura translates directly to Flower Village. Little fun fact about the development of the Overwatch names. Here we can see the Dragon Strike. And a little bit of an Ouroboros, it seems. And here we can see the defense rolling out from the Dallas Fools.
Someone's going to put a
And
stop to
Ikarasu
illegal
has already ruined the game.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu? Ever get that feeling of deja? Ever get that feeling of deja vu?
And now we are going to be rooting for the LA Mortals as they are not spamming that particular Tracer voice line. Prizzler is on the Brigitte, which I would be very excited to see play out, but we are going to go without her. Looks like we're going to see a Death Ball aggressive push from the LA Mortals, as Odaving is now on the Reinhardt.
in glorious combat.
The dive is set up. This is very good positioning. Nikarasu is going to be up on the high ground. He's going to have a lot of movement back and forth. We've got a damage boosted Billy up on the high ground, and very mobile tanks to peel for whoever necessary. Dragonplay is also in a pretty good position, but here comes the offense. There's already a Tracer 1v1 off to the right, but the rest of Team Mortals is going to be pushing, not quite sure where. Looked like Odaving wasn't quite sure where he was going to be walking, and now he's caught out. The rest of his team went through this hallway, and the rest of them are moving forward now, but Quab goes down in the background to Dragonplays. But given how quick Tracer can get back, The LA Immortals should be just fine. Quab now on the Widow, going to try and get some picks, while the rest of her team goes around this side. Not quite sure what they're blocking for, maybe just to get some charge up for Presler, but they may just be waiting and maybe even baiting out the team for Quab. Quab gets spotted by Nikarasu though. What a good anti-Widow dive. And now the LA Immortals have to push without their 6th. They waited so long for Quab just to end up being taken down. And now Nikarasu is uncontested in the back line. Odaving goes down. And with Pulse Bomb up soon, Nikarasu could have a lot of damage. Line guy decides just to jump off and end it. Billy ends up ulting and gets gets one, I'm sure, damage onto more. And Nikarasu, there is no escape. Now, Latin guy is rolling out. He's got Visor very soon. They might try to get that high ground position again, as it's very good for Latin guy's Visor. And God, there is no release. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't get anything. And now Latin guy's got ult. He can see the Mercy from here. This may be the time. Got Mercy in his sights. Chuchuhu doesn't go down though, because Billy gets a nice rocket. Trance is on the point to keep the rest of Dallas Fools alive. Acefire's taking a lot of damage. And now it's Billy uncontested. These DPS duo, Billy and Nikarasu, just don't seem to be taking a lot of damage in any situation. Billy puts down his healing, but doesn't even need it. Nikarasu does go down to Quab, though. Quab goes down himself. Billy gets some rockets in Acefire's face. And it's down to Latin guy to... Do you ever get that feeling of deja vu? Now, Odoving does have Earth Shatter, Quab does have Blade, but that's really it for Ultimate Economy. But it's still looking better than the Dallas Fools that only have Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb, though, is such a powerful ult, especially with Vox's little hiding place. Spotted, though. But with Reinhardt half down, this could be a very good time. Quab got the Blade out, does get Billy. Oh, but the Mercy does get the res. Mercy goes down, but Billy is back up. Now Fox is spotted, but gets in mech before Latin guy and Quab can finish her off. Billy is visoring after that resurrect. Lots of damage coming out, and it looks like this is going to be another Dallas hold. Only 35 seconds left for the Immortals to take it. But Dragonblaze and Billy are down. If the LA Immortals can get there quick enough, they could be fighting a 6v4, which might be what they need to take this point. Now, at some point, Earth Shatter went out and didn't get much, so they will not have that in this fight. Latin guy, though, will have Pulse Bomb, and it could be huge. Oh, and Bizarre Pin actually gets Diva. That's going to be boxed out of mech. No ult this time. Billy next to go down. Odoving just swinging his hammer left and right. He's going to be getting so much damage. He's going to get his ult soon enough, but he's not going to need it as he's clearing out this point. Odoving is the exterminator, and Dallas Fools are the ants. Only a couple ultimates, maybe 4, if they have a little bit of a drawn-out fight for LA Immortals. So it's unlikely they will be able to snowball, especially given that Dragonblaze does have Transcendence. But this could be a very good dry run, especially if they can get Dragonblaze to use Trance. If Latin Guy is able to draw that out, that could secure the next fight as LA Immortals cap. Dragonblaze spotted, and down! Doesn't even have a chance to use Trance. This might actually be the time for LA Immortals to push this. Itsukiwi goes down, Chuchuhu. With this many picks, LA Immortals could be taking this point here and now. Box next to go down. Trance so late after so many picks were taken. Pulse Bomb up again for Latin Guy soon. Gonna put it right onto this mech. Gonna try and get out of mech, but it got eaten. Dragonblaze spotted again, though. He's playing safely in the shield behind a Diva, but Chuchuhu is not that lucky. Ends up so low health. Gets taken down by Quab. Diva Bomb does get Nikarasu, but Kiwi does get Odaving. Still pick after pick in favor of the Mortals. A res onto Odaving as well, as if it never happened. Phantom Table goes down, though, and Valkin's coming out from the Fools. These picks are coming out just slowly enough that the a spawn advantage is coming in clutch for the Fools. Quab, though, visoring, is getting a lot of value, gets a mech, a diva, and a soldier, and they did get the first tick. If they have to regroup after this, they can be comfortable that they at least got a third of the point after one push. Oh, and a reflected pulse bomb onto Latin guy. That's massive. Nikarasu showing a lot of flex. And while you're about 4 months off, that was a pretty good Christmas present given to Tracer. Now, after that push and after that tick, LA Immortals looking not bad, especially with Earth Shatter on deck. There's not a lot of ultimates from Dallas Fools. They only have Billy's Visor. But at this point, it's still going to be a dry run as the best option, as they need to get their ultimates to end up clearing this point so that they can take it. Here comes the fight, though. So many people low, so many people so close together. It's hard for Pain on Table to connect all of them, and Odaving went down. This is going to be a pretty clean wipe, as Dallas Fools do find their footing here. Fox, 30% ult, is going to be looking to get a quick mech reset the hard way, or the easy way, however you want to look at it. She looks so peaceful. Now Kiwi is set up on this high ground with the rest of his team. Meanwhile, the Mortals are getting ready. Latin guys spotted some targets, but he's losing this fight. Visor comes out from Billy, but he's so low, and he's outside the Transcendence. That Latin guy does finish him off. Now, Box could clear this point with the Diva Bomb as soon as his health goes low, but Presler can as well. That's going to be 2 Diva Bombs on this point, though the healing is going to keep Box up. It does get Mr. Kiwi, and Quab is ulting. Box is going to take some of that damage, though, as the Defense Matrix ate most of it. Nikarasu with a double is going to start clearing this point, but another tick went towards the LA Mortals. 27 seconds left. It's going to be very hard for them to try and push this. Odafink does have Earth Shatter, but I think he's been sitting on it for a while and for not a lot of value either. But here he comes. He's basically alone. Gets a pretty big shatter, but the rest of his team wasn't there yet. They're here now, but it's a little bit late. Pulse Bomb onto Kiwi, but he was full health, so it did kill him. And now this is going to be a cleanup from the Dallas Fools. Only 2 seconds left. And it's just Latin guy left.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
Still, 80%? That's a winnable situation that the LA Mortals have put themselves in. That is, if they can defend better than they did on Umbani. The Dallas Fools ended up holding them for a very long time and ended up holding that on to that last tick. But very good gameplay from the LA Mortals to get it this far. The Dallas Fools are looking to have Nikarasu on the Sombra again. It's a very good option as there's even more health packs to be used. And EMP is just so powerful, especially with Box on the Diva. That EMP Diva Bomb combination is so powerful. We're going to see a mix of a Death Ball anti-dive from LA Mortals.
Let's get you back out there.
I'm not quite sure why Latin guys on the Reaper. They may be expecting a triple or quad tank comp, as that is pretty popular on point A of Anubis, but that's not what we're seeing. And Reaper gets countered pretty hard by a Widowmaker if that is what Nikarasu is going to be playing. Quab, though, is on a Sombra, and that could help take away any movement abilities that will just shut down at least part of the dive. And they've got Reinhardt with the shield and Acefire with the hook. Acefire no longer on healer, as Presler is actually going to be on the healer. They've switched roles, healers and off tanks. LA Mortals is going to be running 2 primary healers. That's going to be a lot of healing, especially with Acefire's self-healing capabilities. So maybe they're just looking to outlast the enemy team. But here comes the Dallas Fools. Nikarasu gives a bow as she starts this performance. And already some good shots. The shield's not up yet. Oh, but there's the Sombra. Quab ends up getting that kill. Something so good about Sombra is she can tell when enemies are low health, and she knows that that Reinhardt is low. And with Translocator, she will be able to get out just fine after the last couple picks. Billy can't reflect anymore after the hack. And that's going to be a pretty solid cleanup from LA Mortals. Nikarasu is now on the McCree, perhaps angry at even the thought of having been killed by a Sombra. Flashbang is one of the only things that can stop a Sombra. That, a hook, and a sleep dart. Otherwise, she, with a Translocator, can get out of pretty much any situation. Here comes a Blade already, though. Ultimates have charged so quickly. They've got a few from both sides, but Billy gets so much value. EMP comes out, though. He is hacked. Quab gets Choo-Choo-Hoo, who's left at 50 health after the EMP, but one pick is not enough against the 6 that the Dallas Fools just got. They're going to have a good amount of time going into point B as the defense gets set up, and we're going to see Reinhardt and D.Va. It's an interesting combination that we saw on their attack. Not quite sure what the Reinhardt does for a dive comp. That may be the problem that the Mortals are running into. But here comes the dive. Valkyrie is out from paint on table. Barriers are out for Mortals. Here comes a charge. Kiwi is not going to get a lot of use out of this Primal if he's being charged into the wall. But Odaving is down on the ground. Lion Guy gets one, but gets taken out. Somehow Choo-Choo-Hoo and Lion Guy kill each other. Once this barrier goes down, this could be a huge shatter, but he doesn't even need it. He's going to kill a Kiwi the old-fashioned way with a big shift, but he's going to go down to box. Who does have D.Va Bomb? He could try and clear this, but most of his team is dead. He's going to do the smart thing and just get out of dodge. Dragon Plays will not be so lucky. And in fact, he's going to stagger himself more than anything else. And they've started to go ahead and use ults. I'm not entirely sure why. They used Deadeye, they used Trance, but without most of their team, Dallas Fools is actually going to try and make this work. Acefire is now onto the Brigitte, but there's not a lot of stalling to be found. That's 1 tick, 2 ticks is coming up soon. That's a 1 tick and a half. Here comes a Blade from Billy. Very angry at Frizzler for simply existing on this point as a stall character such as May, but ooh, a nice charge from Odaving is going to get Billy. Earthshatter misses everybody. Held on for so long for no value at all. Barriers are going to come out, but the stall is continuing from the Mortals. Both healers, Brigitte and Moira, are very good at lasting very long, but Acefire is the first to go down, and then Pain on Table is next. Frizzler is back on point, but gets pushed off. Can't tell if she is contesting or not, but Odaving is back on point. There's a D.Va Bomb. Let's see if it can get anything. It does not, but Choo-Choo-Hoo gets Odaving. This is such a long, drawn-out fight, and not much more progress has been gained. This spawn advantage is just so oppressive, and this May ult has gotten a couple Dragon Plays and Bix are frozen. Bix is going to lose mech, and here's another Deadeye. It gets 2 more. It gets both DPS. Nikarasu is getting other shots for free. He is uncontested up here. Odaving goes down. This second tick is going to the Dallas Fools, and the third. Pan Table given up. Knows what just happened. And it's going to go 2-0 for the Dallas Fools.
Play of the game.
Billy gets a valuable visor to get play of the game. Gets one. Second one's coming up. Gets a nice rocket onto Frizzler. And Ikarasu still makes me want to die. Lots of cards coming in from the Dallas Fools as we go back into the lobby. What good offense from the Dallas Fools. They turned what shouldn't have been a winnable situation given the tanks that they had just lost into a very winnable situation. Sometimes it's not smart to use your ultimates when your entire team's not there, most of the time rather, but a very good Deadeye ended up setting up the team to take that point. Nikarasu had very good positioning on McCree. That catwalk is so good as it gets just the entire point within his range, and it's so hard for the defense to go up and get him if they have to contest the point. That's really the way to do that with a McCree or a Soldier or a Zenyatta, someone on that high ground, because if the defending team, such as the LA Mortals, have to run a stall comp to just try and stay on the point as long as they can, there's no one to contest the McCree, to the point where Nikarasu got a second Deadeye and got both DPS. That is huge value. Billy, as the Genji and the Soldier, got a lot of value as well. That isn't to say that the LA Mortals didn't have a lot of good plays. They did pretty well on their offense. They got almost 3 ticks. They didn't quite close it out, though, and that's what led to the Dallas getting the victory. Now we're going to be setting up for King of the Hill next. Hopefully, we will see some of a turnaround for the LA Mortals. This is their time to shine, trying to get a reverse sweep or at least force a Game 5. And it'll all start with King of the Hill. This will be the deciding match. Now, if the Dallas Fools want to call it a day, they can do it here and now on this map 3. Now, map 4 is important for seeding, but once you've won 3 games, you're feeling pretty confident. So we'll see how it goes on, I believe, Ilios. Now we are going to go to a short break while we figure out the subs, why the lobby is completely full of players, and we set up Game 3.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
And we are now in Lijiang Tower. I am over 2 as far as guesses on maps goes, so I'll just let the game show me where we're going. We've got an entire roster shakeup coming in from the Dallas Wolves. Their lineup now is Czar, Michael, Panda Plays, Kiwi, Caillou, San, and Quinster. And a couple subs coming in from the LA Mortals. Now Jachi is back in. And with heroes assembled, 30 seconds left before this attack will commence on the courtyard of the market. Now Quinster is going to be running Pharah with San on the Mercy. San. Well, Quinster certainly is not San Mercy, as San is on the Mercy. They will likely be flying out around the left,
5, 4,
and for some reason, Captain Caillou has yet to decide on a hero.
round 1.
So,
Capture the
yes, the pause will be coming in. Captain Caillou is now on the Zen. We should be good to go. Otherwise, we would have started a 5v6, and that is not what we want to see. Now, we are running on the side of the Fools a standard Pharah dive. This is how you see it run on the high-level play. We've got the Zen and we've got the Mercy. On the side of the Mortals, we're going to be seeing a interesting mix, as we've got Lucio and Moira, but without quad tank. We have a couple dive tanks in Quab, but we have Latin Guy in the Hanzo. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Latin Guy is going to switch off to the McCree, though. Perhaps catching wind of a Pharah in the air as Quinster takes position. Now, this is so good for Pharah as she has free reign to just shoot in through the window. Doesn't even have to be on the point. Michael's already out of mech, though. Latin Guy's already getting a lot of work done. Doesn't even have to worry about the Pharah. Quinster's looking to ignore the Pharah entirely, and there it is. Presler does get concussive blast off the point, but LA Mortals take this pretty swiftly, and a double headshot on the Captain Caillou is absolutely disgusting. That'll dispatch any Zenyatta healer. Dallas Fools now getting their next attack ready. This is a kind of awkward point to dive. Dive's still very good on it, but it's very hard to try and get in on this point as a dive, especially when your Mercy is now with a Pharah. This is the perhaps optimal way to run it, but that doesn't make it any easier. Now Panda Plays does get Latin Guy with his ult to begin with, but he hasn't found anything more. He does get Asmul though. Quinster trying to find some shots, isn't having too much luck, but it's okay. Caillou and Panda have this on lock. Now Zar's gonna get stuck with this Diva Bomb, but Presler goes down. So that's a pretty good trade, as just above 50%, this is going to be flipped for the Dallas Fools. Michael only at 20%. It's going to be a little bit before he can get a mech, unless he can get a lot of these shots. But Latin Guy's right there. Very lucky for Michael that Latin Guy did not notice the Diva, as that would have been a very quick dispatch with the Peacekeeper. He does roll in, but doesn't get any good shots. He spotted her, but you know what? Quab's going to get it. Here comes the Deadeye. There goes Panda Plays. Genji seemed not to be aware of the Deadeye, as that would have been an easy reflect kill. Kiwi is jumping around, stalling as long as he can, but LA Mortals is looking to make quick work of this point. Acefire does get Captain Caillou, and this is now going to be a flip, but Quinster's getting a lot of value. Unfortunately, it's a lot of value off the point, so they are going to lose the point in the end, nonetheless. Quinster does have ultimate as well as San. This could be a big explosive fight from the Dallas Fools. Quinster's getting nice positioning. Spots Latin Guy though, but Latin Guy still gets Czar. Quinster needs to make something happen. It does look like he's going to go ahead and reset with his Mercy. But that's not really an ult you can sit on like that when the rest of your team is dying. When your team is in a losing position like this, it is your job as a DPS to make something happen. There's a lot of ultimates that should have been used the last fight, and now there's only 5% for them to use it. It's going to start off with Kiwi on the point. Blade coming out from Panda. He's spotted Latin guy, and he's going to cut him down to size. Diva Bomb comes out, and now he's in a 1v1 with Quab, but Quab runs away with it with the dash. Panda Plays gets brought back up, but San is down in turn. Here's the Diva Bomb. It could get a lot, but there's a barrier that's going to block a lot of it. Asmuel is now going to be pushing off as many people as he can. Ace Fire gets a pick. Gets 2 picks. This could be a Mortal's point. Just a couple more to clear off. Quab finishes up Mr. Kiwi with a blade, and we are looking at a Mortal's lead for the first time.
This will protect us.
1-0.
LA Mortals looking very strong here. Had a very solid lead. Game 1, or map 1 of Lijiang Tower. Now we're going into the control center, where we're going to see an interesting composition from the Dallas Fools. The interesting part is that Panda Plays is on the Mei. Now I believe we've seen this before, and it worked to an extent, so it may still be a valid option. Quinster is on the Reaper, perhaps assuming there will be some more tanks on the enemy team, but a Diva Winston is enough for him to get a lot of damage. Now here comes the fight in the middle of the room. Hook doesn't get much. Fire Strike only gets 1. Presler is going to get healed back up and dive right in. There's so many Mei walls as Quab is on another Mei. Somehow Mei has become meta in the Community Cup on this particular point. Captain Caillou and Zara are getting a lot of picks, and it looks like Dallas is going to try and take this point. But they're having a lot of trouble. Kiwi's kind of stuck between a Mei and a Lucio. He's just got his shield up. He's getting healed up by San. But these picks aren't coming out. If that charge had been a nanosecond later, Quab would have succeeded. Or Quab would have gotten a charge down. Captain Caillou, though, with another pick. Both healers down. Transcendence is out. And this should be enough to finish off the fight. Kiwi did get some revenge in a charge against Quab. And now they will finally cap after this very long fight. Caillou used Trance to finish off that fight. Not sure if it was necessary. And we'll see if it bites him in the end, now that there's a lot of ultimates on both teams. There are no healer ultimates on the side of the Mortals, though. But San is down, so is Kiwi. Diva Bomb is going to get Zar. And such a good sequence of ults is going to give them this point very swiftly. Quinster's going to try and escape rather than contest. He's going to try and get with the rest of his team. He's getting chased. But if you're getting chased by Winston as Reaper, that's something you can deal with pretty well. Mei, not so much. And only a couple ultimates, only 2 ultimates, in fact, were used on the side of the Mortals to take this point. They still have 4 to work with, both support ults included. Captain Caillou is down. He doesn't have his ult. Kiwi is now on an Orisa as an anti-dive, but it's harder to push with anti-dive than it is to defend. Here comes barriers. They're going to make this counter push work, but here's an enemy Mei ult. Latin guy does have Deadeye and does get Panda Plays, and now there's a return Mei ult on the point. Doesn't get anyone, but does make a lot of space. Now Quinster, so low, doesn't get healed, does go down to Quinster. Rather, Latin guy was low. But Quinster is going to have to, not quite back out all the way, but he's going to have to regroup with his team. Asmal's super low, and with Death Blossom on lock, Quinster could make some very good things happen very soon. Somehow unpunished after that Wraith. It's coming in. This could be the time. He's healed up with Trance. And maybe he's waiting for this barrier to go down. He actually gets finished off before he ults. This is an issue we've seen Quinster have before, where he doesn't commit to the ultimates when he needs to. Now Asmol is frozen, but such clutch defense Matrix is going to keep him alive. Mortals is going to stall this out even longer. Quinster is back alive, and is this the time that he's going to ult? There it is. He gets one, he gets two, he gets flashbanged, but the damage has been done. That is going to be a stall, but there's a frozen monkey on point. Both Acefire and Asmol are lasting as long as they can. Supercharger, very unnecessary, will not be an option the next fight. Getting up to 97%, still stalling, and the reinforcements are in. Maybe now the Supercharger would have been more effective, as now the counterattack is in. There's a Deadeye, there's a Mei ult. Zarmichael literally nowhere to go, being frozen. What a terrible way to go, frozen in front of him and ulting McCree. It's definitely high noon in the Arctic. Here comes a Diva Bomb for some zoning. Panda Plays ulted as well, but Latin guy got a pick onto Quinster. Panda Plays goes down as well, and this is going to be an LA Immortals 2-0. A very different game than we've seen before.
Play of the game.
Quab is going to get play of the game. This Mei ult was very clean. It made so much room for his team, and a frozen Reinhardt can't block a Diva Bomb or even get in a better position. Zarmichael went down as well. And with only 2 ultimates, they were able to so cleanly flip that point. We saw previously, Dallas Fools had such a startling lead in a couple of those games. Both teams played very well, but the advantage was so heavily in favor of the Dallas Fools. But after that entire roster change, it was looking very dire. LA Immortals had a field day. Now maybe this was because Dallas Fools was playing a bit of their B team. Maybe this was to give their team more experience. But I think it ended up with a lack of communication, as there was a bunch of people who were put in a game that hadn't been playing before. There are going to be a lot of roster swaps as we move into Game 4, and this is going to be the LA Immortals' time to try and tie this up, lest Dallas Fools end up with a 3-1 after all of the effort the Mortals have gone through. Now we've got some switches in on the Dallas Fools roster. Choo Choo, Who, Fancy Raptor, Kiwi, Captain Caillou, and Box are now on the roster. We are waiting for the 6th player as we move into Map 4, Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now Payloads is where we saw LA Immortals struggle the most, as they were not able to finish out Numbani. Hopefully they've figured out their game plan now, as they should be able to tie up if they play as well as they have been. As we get this 6th player situation readied, it does look like it's going to be Nikaratsu, even though there was a request for Billy, so we are going to be seeing how that goes. Captain Caillou will be switched out for Billy. Nikarasu and Billy are the DPS duo we saw before that got so much done. They were playing so well together on Hanamura. So I think we'll see some very good plays from each of them on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now, the LA Immortals are going to take a little bit of a break as they perhaps go to the bathroom and go over their game plans, hopefully separately. But who knows? We are going to take a short break before we go into Game 4, the last or penultimate game.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
We are now moving into Game 4. This is make or break for the Mortals. Dallas Fools will be on the offense. It looks like they're going to be running a double sniper. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we won't. Nicarasa with interesting positioning already. Kind of gameplay we like to see from Widowmakers. Poor Mr. Kiwi. He can't sit there too. He's too large. Now, Billy may be playing the Hanzo just to get a sonar arrow on this wall, as it is such a good way to make sure there's no one, no dive defense up here on the high ground.
Attackers incoming in
Speaking of the defense, LA Mortals is getting set up with an anti-dive. Asmul, poor fella, can't get up there onto that high ground. It's possible, but very difficult with how large Orisa is. But if at first you don't succeed, and if at second you don't succeed, and if at third you don't succeed,
5, 4,
maybe just walk off and call it a day.
1.
Now, Acefire is on the Brigitte. That'll be interesting to see.
Stop the payload.
Billy, using Sonar Arrow, didn't see anything, is going to switch onto Tracer. Nikarasu still on the Widow, though, and oh, what an answer! Quab finds Billy immediately. Very good positioning. Knowing that Tracers like to take that route is just going to shut her down immediately. Payload, though, is moving uncontested at the moment, and the dive is going, or the defense is going to fall onto the point. Nikarasu goes down to Quab, not something you see very often, a Widow losing to a McCree. And a lot of picks are coming in from the Mortals defense. They're going to continue playing down here. And now they're starting to push up. They've yanked Box. They're going to try and finish her off, pushing it back to spawn. Micro missiles are going to finish her off, but she's going to get rezzed. She's going to get a new mech. And now she's in a safe place to do so. Very perilous place to be resurrected, especially since spawn was so close and she could have just respawned anyway. But here we are. Nikarasu on the Sombra is going to try and find a different angle around this. And now all of the Dallas Fools are on this high ground. Instead of pushing the payload, they're going to try and win this team fight outright, make space, and then push. Quab with the Deadeye doesn't get anything. Mr. Kiwi very low. Is going to get finished off by a Latin guy. And even though Deadeye didn't get any kills, it does look like this is going to be another defense. And no, the healers are trapped down below. They do successfully get out, but Box is out of mech again. Latin guy with visor is going to try and take this high ground. He needs to be very careful, though, as he is out here alone. He's going to think better of it and go join his team. It's safest to to ult behind a barrier. And the only ultimate right now on the side of the Dallas Fools is Valkyrie, which is just used, and a double ultimate from the supports. Not quite sure why that happened, especially so early, as a lot of the barriers were gone by the time Latin guy started his ult. And we can see that by the fact that Dragonflays went down in the end. Asmuel has Supercharger out. He's going to finish off Box with the help of Quab, who ended up finishing off a Diva mech with a flashbang. Not something you see every day, but that it was a 50% damage boosted flashbang. And Dallas Fools are back on the drawing board. They have a minute and a half left, but this first point has given them a lot of trouble. Now, Billy's got some people in his sights. I think he's going to try and go for a Latin guy in the background, but there's a McCree back there as well. And here's a Diva Bomb. He's going to be forced to get away from the Diva Bomb, but into the rest of the enemy team. This is very perilous, but he ends up surviving. He gets a health pack. He's got Blade. He might end up using it, but he has to watch out for Acefire and Quab, who've got stuns for days. He gets flashbanged. He needs healing, because of course, when doesn't Genji? And now he's stuck here alone. He ends up dying in the end and ends up really staggering himself for so long. And again, Box is left without mech. Perhaps the dives just aren't coordinated enough, but there is not a lot of ground gained for the Fools. If Box isn't careful, he could die here and now, and he's still trying to get mech. This is such an important time to have your diva. And if you don't have a mech, that is quite dangerous. Billy here spotted both DPS and a Lucio. He's going to come in with the blade. Nikarasu gets the first one. Billy gets the second. Lucio gets away with his life, and his barriers are out. That's going to be all the value gained from this blade. Here's the Diva Bomb, though, and the Brigitte ult. Ace Fire goes down. There's going to be no armor from that. Now Presler, with Diva Bomb of his own, could clear this. He's going to put his Diva Bomb on top of this point, but the barrier is going to block most of it. And now the Dallas Fools with barriers are going to be able to close this out. Quab gets sat on. Ace Fire is going to be pushed back by Box's mere presence, and this is going to be a first point cap for the Fools. Now, luckily, most of the LA Mortals were able to get back to safety, except for Ace Fire. Ace Fire is going to have to try and get back as safely as possible, but this is a lot of healing his team is missing out on. This isn't really a position you can be in. Honestly would have been better to die than to have stalled for this long. Billy ended up getting 2, and now Ace Fire is kind of on an adventure while the rest of his team dies. He spotted Moira, but now Ace Fire is going to get ripped apart. That's just an unfortunate misplay. Sometimes it's better to go ahead and die than end up in a situation like that, and it really hurt the rest of the Mortals. The Fools are pushing in. Quab goes down. Nikarasu's got some good shots, but again, Billy is just stealing the show off screen. Perhaps I should just leave the camera on him entirely as he is getting pick after pick, and he didn't even use Blade. He spotted Ace Fire. Poor Zenyatta, no movement ability, just has nowhere to go. And Billy knows exactly where he went. He's jumping as much as he can. Opts to not even try to defend himself as Billy finishes off that kill. No Transcendence will be on deck. Dragon Place. Ace Fire is going to switch back to the Brigitte after being bullied by Billy. But again, there will be no trance. And Jachi only a 60% towards barrier. This could be a very good time for Billy to use Blade, as well as Box to use a Diva Bomb. This 1v1 though, 2v1 if you include Nikarasu's shot going in. Quab knows that he's outnumbered, outmatched, has to escape, but he gets taken down by Nikarasu in the end. Billy spotted a lot of blue targets, and here comes a Blade. Latin guy goes down during his ult. Here's the Diva Bomb. It's going to get Dragon Plays, but Presler and Ace Fire are the only ones on the point. A couple minutes left for Dallas Fools to finish off this fight. Presler is out of mech. Box has ult. He can zone out so much, but he's going to opt to escape instead. Try and get the healing before he goes back in. Barriers come out from Jachi, but that means now it's safe to Diva Bomb. It goes up very high. Asmo blocks it though. And he ends up getting a very strange charge onto Kiwi, who was Primal Raging though, so he's not going to take that much damage. Asmo is blocked into this corner though as Mr. Kiwi just shoves him into it. More picks coming in from Dallas Fools. Time is ticking down though, but pick after pick, the spawn advantage is not going to be enough to stop Dallas Fools from parking this satellite right where it needs to go.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
With a minute left, they've got themselves a nice time for their second attack if Dallas Fools don't straight up hold the point. LA Mortals, though, with how well they've been playing throughout King of the Hill, and defending to a minute, it's definitely possible that they will be able to take it to the third point. And even in overtime, they'll still be given a minute for their next attack. That will add a minute to Dallas Fools' time bank as well, but with overtime on a payload, you can just keep moving the payload until you finally get pushed off. Now here comes the Dallas Fools defense. They're going to be running a dive. No Zenyatta, though. They're going to have Choo-Choo on the Mercy, Dragon Blaze on the Lucio, and Nikarasu going to try and get some shots from the background. Nikarasu, one of the star DPS players of the Fools, with Billy as well. Going to try and get the picks The good thing about Genji with a Widow is that if Widow gets a full body shot, that's pretty good for Billy to just swoop in and finish off. So if that's coordinated well, that could definitely be a possibility. As for the offense, Jachi is on the Bastion, probably not for long, and we're going to get another pause, but otherwise, it looks like a couple troll picks coming in from the Mortals. We've got Quab on the Doomfist, which as much as I would love to watch, probably is not going to happen. Prisler is on the Sombra, which we'll probably see him be playing the Diva. Latin guy on Widow, honestly, I can see that happening, and Joshi will probably be switching to Zenyatta, though. Not quite sure as to why we are paused. So it does look like we're going to be going right back into it, though. It's going to be a short pause as we are going right back into the game. Now Joshi is doing the Bastion meta of spinning this blackboard as fast as he can before he switches off to the Lucio or the Zenyatta. That's honestly the Bastion meta in a nutshell, messing around and then switching to a useful character. Is this a gift given to me by Quab, though? Is he sticking onto the Doomfist? It looks like he is. He does get hard countered by Widow, but there's no McCree to stop him. So Quab, if he gets a nice dive onto Nikarasu, could have a lot of luck, and he spotted her, and doesn't get the punch. Does make it out with his life, though. And Latin guy gets the shot on Nikarasu, so now Quab's going to be given a lot of space to just punch around. This is a very aggressive defense. Oh, and the wall doesn't connect to Dragon Blaze, so he's going to survive, but not for much longer as Acefire finishes him off. And a nice uppercut is going to finish off Mr. Kiwi. This is a very solid first attack from the LA Mortals. They're going to be pushing this payload underneath the archway without any contention. And Quab in a very good position to dive down and get a nice pick. Nikarasu now on the Sombra. Talk about hard counters to Doomfist. Although I think McCree would be a safer option. We're going to see more picks, though this time from the Dallas Fools, as they're going to start trying to defend. Quab almost has ult, but it's likely that he will be backing up opposed to anything else. The tanks, though, are going to go ahead and die on the point. And poor Presler. What is a poor Diva to do? Almost mech'd up. He's going to get into a mech. He's going to ult. He's going to lose the mech. He's going to start over again. But the rest of his team is here. Maybe they can give him some cover. Latin guy has used ult. But Acefire goes down. And no kills gotten from the Doomfist ultimate. This isn't going as well as the LA Mortals would like. Chuchu, who did Valk, Dragon Blaze used barriers again. I don't know why they're using these support ultimates at the same time consistently. It's almost as if it's a strategy, but if it is, that's not a very sound strategy. It's best to stagger those out so that you have one for when the other ends. Now Quab has switched onto the McCree. Doomfist stopped working, but he got the ult, didn't get anything with it, so he's going to be on a more standard DPS. Nikarasu, though, has switched off to the Roadhog. Not going to get countered by Quab as the Sombra, and is in fact going to be a very beefy character. They're running a triple tank defense. Interesting given there's no Moira, but that is what they're going to be running, and nonetheless, Quab is going to be trying to find these shots as he hears the Genji nearby, spotted, and Dragon Blaze is here as well. Doesn't get the final blow, and now he's chased off by Billy. Sometimes that's the last thing you see before you die, a bouncing Lucio. Latin guy is going to get taken out next. Mr. Kiwi gets the final blow. Here's the Diva Bomb. Does get Dragon Blaze, but here comes a Blade from Billy. That's going to cut down Jachi. Mr. Kiwi is going to tick on some damage to finalize this fight. And poor Presler ends up getting killed before she can even remech. Latin guy used sights again, but hasn't really been getting the picks to warrant staying on the Widowmaker. I think it's time for Latin Guy to switch off to a Tracer or a Soldier, something that can more reliably get picks, as it's not working out right now. Here comes the dive from the Fools, or from the Mortals, but it's just Asmol. I said it's from the team of the Fools, but it was just the Winston. Acefire spotted. Doesn't get the finishing blow, but the Diva Bomb will. Unfortunately, Acefire flew right into it. Nikarasu gets flashbanged, but he's going to survive anything given his bulky demeanor. And Nikarasu ends up flying. Oh, he just misses the barrier trying to go for a health pack. Unlucky for Nikarasu as he ends up getting finished off. And this might be some ground for the LA Mortals. Vox has to back up. He doesn't have ultimate to get a new mech. And Presler's mech is going to block the doorway. Vox is out and will not have an ult to get a new mech. Gets taken down. Billy gets Quab. But these are enough picks that the LA Mortals will finish off point A. Poor Billy ends up getting taken for a ride on this payload. Maybe that's what he wanted the whole time. Presler is already on the hunt for some squishy targets, but Kiwi spotted her beforehand. Latin Guy gets Choo-Choo-Hoo, that's huge! That's no mercy for this phase 2, or at least until the end of the gate. Box is going to be taken out of mech, and still no ult. It's very hard to charge ultimate when you're constantly out of mech. Billy's going to be very low, Coalescence is going to finish him off, and this is a lot of space being gained for the LA Mortals. Presler's taking a lot of damage, but Choo-Choo-Hoo goes down, now playing the Moira, hopefully trying to survive a little bit longer, but it didn't happen. And while there is a Kiwi contesting the point, as well as Box, if these picks continue to be coming out from the Mortals, this will be a cap 2. But Blade coming out from Billy, gets 1, gets 2, both healers down. McCree spotted. Oh, and a nice deflect onto the flashbang. That is going to be a triple kill. And almost Presler gets a back cap. Not quite, though. A very ill-advised Diva Bomb, as there was no reason Presler needed to get in a mech again at this point. Presler needed to go ahead and die. As now it's going to be 10 more seconds before the LA Mortals have a Diva again. That's not something you can afford to put your team in a situation like that. Though, Ultimate Economy is in favor of the Mortals. They've got both DPS ults and Joshi with the barriers. They could force this fight. Box, though, has Diva Bomb. If anything else, to get a new mech. But here comes the Visor. It's blocked by a Matrix and a Winston, though. He's taken out. Billy finishes him off. But here comes Quab now. Gets Billy, but that's it. Will that be enough to finish off this phase, as he's not getting any healing? Box is pushing him back and now ulting. He's going to get a health back, and still no healing. And both healers are taken down by the same Diva Bomb. There's definitely no healing for Quab now. He's going to have to back up and hope that he survives, but this... Oh, very dangerous. He does survive, but Choo-Choo-Hoo is now going to try and finish him off. Oh, and Billy's going to come in for that swift strike. Latin Guy has to back up, and they don't have time to back up at all. 7 seconds before they end up losing this. Coalescence is coming out from Choo-Choo-Hoo, gonna decide to finish off this fight. Acefire gets a nice boop onto... Or Acefire gets booped off by Dragon Plays. And this is gonna be a 3-0 from the Fools.
Play of the game.
Billy running away with play of the game. Slices up that pumpkin. And really, between him and Nikarasu are the players of this match, the MVPs. He's going to finish off Latin Guy and a mech. He's just getting so much value out of his Swift Strikes and his Dragon Blade that the Dallas Fools were able to pick up all 3 points. This was very good gameplay from both teams. We saw stellar performances from the LA Mortals on Lijiang Tower, but overall, Dallas Fools definitely had the edge on every other map. Perhaps it was their better communication, perhaps that they practiced more, but their dives were so much cleaner, and their ult economy, or their ult usage was much better than the LA Mortals. LA Mortals is going to have to go back to the drawing board for a lot of that. That being said, they did have a lot of outstanding personal performances, especially Stefan. Game 1, I would have liked to see him play more often. Other than that, they just need to go ahead and practice their communication, their compositions, and they should be good to go. We saw them play very well, and I believe that if they work on their weaknesses and fortify their strengths, they will be a very strong team that will be able to take Dallas Fools to Game 5 in the future. Now, that being said, we will be signing off for now until some more matches later in the week. And again, this is the last week before the playoffs. So the top 8 teams will be playing in the playoffs, so that is very exciting. Until then, I will see you later.